Hey everyone. I am here today with Christine Diamond, and I wanted to introduce you to her. And she graciously accepted to come on and be interviewed about her experience in working in the Feminine Intimacy program. So, a little bit about Christine. She's an expert in project management, systems automation, and business development. She's also passionate and deeply spiritual and a powerhouse of a woman. She has a young and very high energy daughter who keeps her on her toes, and together they enjoy all kinds of outdoor activities. Christine enjoys traveling, holistic health, human development, and is currently building her own self sufficient homestead. She has several years of experience with nonprofit organizations, namely Children's Miracle Network hospitals, and the proceeds of her first published children's book, The Lonely Onion, supports local children's hospitals. So, Christine, you've accomplished a lot in your life, and it's been such an honor to work with you. And so I'm very excited for you to get to share some of your journey. And when I interview people like this, I am very aware of the fact that the kind of work that we do together is super personal, super intimate. And so, just share what you feel comfortable sharing. And
Of
at no
course.
time, do I want you to feel like you have to share more than that. But tell us a little bit about what was going on that made you want to do this coaching.
Yes, actually, I had experienced life coaching for the first time the year prior to being able to work with you. And it's very interesting because that current life coach actually recommended me work with you because she's like, even though I have a lot that I can offer you, I understand that a lot of the limiting focuses that I was facing was that my romantic relationship and my finances were very enmeshed. So as I was trying to grow in my career or build a business or make these leaps, I felt held back as a single woman, holding myself back. And so she's like, maybe you could work with this intimacy coach. I was like, intimacy? Like, I'm not married right now. I don't need to worry about that. And so she's like, but actually, maybe you could heal. And so what drew me to you was a lot of the healing process of being able to trust myself again,
Mhm.
trust myself and my desires, working on what does it look like to trust your intuition.
Mhm.
I had second guessed myself throughout school all the time, just even taking a test. I would know in my gut that the answer was B, and I would still be like, but is it C?
Right,
And
right.
end up making the wrong choice.
It's fascinating because I don't think people would draw the connection between intimacy and trusting yourself, but it is also, I'll just take a moment to educate here. Intimacy is into me see. So if you don't trust yourself, that means you don't trust your desires or your urges. And then your relationships are all mixed up because you don't ever fully know what you want. And when you do, you don't trust it or act on it.
Yeah.
So I love that, Christine. And I have worked with other single women before, but I think it takes someone really special who's very devoted to their own healing and also devoted to the idea and beauty and sanctity of being in a partnership. Like they want that to be
Yes.
able to bring in this work even while, being single.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe the moment when you knew that this was the right decision?
Was quite interesting because I had the right financial amount to be able to afford the coaching. I had the right time, and the decision came when I actually sat and meditated with myself. I had a couple of conversations with you that already told me that, oh, I already had a couple of breakthroughs just in our discovery calls and stuff. What really brought it home was that I sat with myself and I was like, I'm making this decision for me. I am actually investing in the vessel that is me for my life. You think about it, I invested $30,000 and 4 years of my life for business management. That's just a skill set. That's not like my overall view of my own self and who it can bring into my heart. And it's just interesting the way our society is structured that way, that we are really logically based in like, what kind of ROI am I going to get for this? And
Mhm.
it's so hard to see what kind of return on investment you're going to get from something that feels so ethereal as love and connection and intimacy and all these things. Like, it feels hard to see what is that result I'm even getting from paying for this or putting my time in there. So sitting with myself and going, I'm just giving myself this beautiful gift of healing and connection to me. And then when I said that, I was like, doesn't matter what the outcome will be. This is a gift to me. This is my space.
Wow, which I think going in with that attitude is what had you then create exponential ROI, like,
Yeah.
really. Because, and I've shared this with you before, but it's not often that I see a client like Quantum Leap so many friggin' times within one container. It's amazing. So what would you say has been your ROI if we're gonna put those terms on it?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually think that working on myself and learning to trust myself, my biggest return is confidence to act. So if you don't trust your own self, if you don't trust your intuition, if you don't trust your desires, you're going to be analyzing it forever, right? In order to feel comfortable. But my biggest return is, instead of sitting there in analysis paralysis forever, because I now have tools at my disposal that I'm still going to go through, like the tools that you've offered, I'm still going through with some of the other women and just kind of internalizing them even deeper. But the baseline foundation of my confidence is there, back to even a standard that was before my marriage. So I
Mm.
had a ton of self-confidence. I really didn't have a lot of self-esteem issues growing up. Maybe in junior high when I had a lot of acne, but like, I don't really have like a lot of self-esteem issues, because even in high school, I had braces and 2 holes in my teeth and I still smiled the widest, and no one even remembered that I had braces. They just remembered my smile. And so like, I didn't have any issues with that until I became in a very codependent relationship where I was very, very unsure of what my decisions were going to be, because I didn't know how they were going to be received, because it could be good, could be bad. I don't know. So then I feel like the ROI is I'm back to a, that point before my marriage and a little bit above. And I feel like I can go further than that, but that's helpful. Even though there are other quantum leaps we can talk about, that was the biggest core ROI, is like, that's going to stay with me for a long, long time.
That's beautiful. Um, and I know this has also supported you as a business owner. Do
Yeah.
you wanna speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. So Harvest is my business, and there's 2 arms to it. We have business operations consulting, helping small businesses who have lots of sales coming in, where the leader is putting out fires all the time, trying to keep up with all the growth. And they just need someone to help come in and organize it all, make sure that you have a way to onboard your team. And then the real estate is the other side, real estate investments, be able to pool the wealth that you're generating into a wealth generating asset. So I took the leap to be 100% in my business. Before, it was a side hustle, and I was working in real estate investment industry as an office manager. And now I'm taking my decade of experience in business management and helping corporations and small businesses grow their business, and now doing that as my own. It was a huge leap. I kept telling you, I was like, huh, I feel like, huh, I just jumped off another cliff, Melissa. But now I have the same amount of income and I have half the time that it takes. So like I have so much more time freedom that I can even like you mentioned the homestead. So every Wednesday I get to go work with my friend as an apprentice, growing things, prepping the greenhouse, planting seeds, and like living my life the way I want to rather than in a 40-hour work week. This is what I have to do for my boss kind of setting. So
It's
it's a
amazing.
whole new world, whole new world.
And there's no doubt in my mind that you're gonna do six figures this year. You have the whole system is all laid out.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So making more than you anticipated with half the time, and that's fantastic. And I love like you're already onboarding lots of support and stuff, so that as the business grows, you can just hand things off. It's just beautiful. What would you say was the toughest moment of this process for you?
We did a session within the group where we're supposed to be angry. We did another session when we were supposed to be like really just feeling our sorrow. And those are things I've always done privately. I never was in front of other women really crying. I was always the one holding someone else. Very much had been that masculine container for a lot of my friends and family instead of being held, being seen, and just sharing something and then just being validated. That was a huge lesson for me because I was always the fixer. And now I see what it's like in return to not necessarily have someone fix it for me, but just see me and just be held and in my space of whatever emotion.
Wow. So cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know what you were going to say there. That's really neat.
Yeah, that
As
was a
we
powerful one.
as we wrap up here, I want to ask a question because this is about you, Christine, and about all that you've created in your life. And you're an incredible human being. And you've been through a lot. And it's been such an honor to be a part of one of these stepping stones in your journey. So I want to ask you this question, and whatever you respond is beautiful. What would you tell your inner child about how her life will be at your current age to reassure her of how amazing she will feel and despite all that she will go through?
I have a 5-year-old. And so now anytime someone talks about like your inner child, I like think of her and how she is. And I would say, my dear sweet Christine, you will get to play again. All the exploring you did in the trees, all the exploring you did by being friendly and saying, do you want to be my friend to anyone, is going to be your strength. The light that you keep, the positivity, the forward movement, everything that you're doing will allow you to play again. Like I feel like I get to play in my business. I get to play in dating. I get to play with my daughter. I get to go on adventures because I'm creating them and I'm bringing people along. So it's so much fun, baby girl. Like, I love you. That's what I would say.
I love it so much. I mean, the reality is most women in your circumstances, and given the amount of time it's been in your healing journey and stuff, you have every reason to just be terrified and biting your nails and obeying all the rules and people pleasing and just surviving, Christine.
Yeah.
And you're not. And to say like you're playing, like I just know it has taken a leap to get to, even like dating feels like playing, business feels like playing.
Yeah.
And I know that's a continual practice, right? It's always tempting to go back to that like scared, locked up place and whatever, but you're doing it. And I want to champion you. And I'm so glad that you came on to this interview to be championed about all the inner work, because we don't do this enough for women to honor the inner transformation as well as the outer transformation.
Yes.
Any last words you want to share?
I just want people to feel empowered wherever they see me. So if you see me on Harvest Community on Facebook, if you see me in Instagram, where I have my creative Christine Diamond the writer, if you see me in person, if we talk, if we message directly, I just want you to feel like you get to be you. And I will see you. And I've learned more about intimacy, but like that's what I want people to feel, that they can shine their light.
So beautiful. I do remember one particular conversation that we had where you said, in the dating world, I just want me to be this light and easily attract someone who's also a light on the planet. And I feel like what you just said is so perfect to that, because you are being the light and you easily recognize the light in others, and it feels like that. So how easy that will then be, and kind of has been.
Yes, just allowing the ease to flow, right?
So good. Thank you again so much, Christine. Bye, everyone.
Love ya.